Did we just get the best alien movie in over 30 years? What's up, cretins? What's up, creeps? My name is Chris. I am the only person talking horror on the internet. Today, we are going to be discussing Alien Romulus. First off, let me give you the TLDR haiku review. Thank God for Fede, because they mostly suck. Mostly. See what I did there? Here's your full spoiler-free review. So where are we? The Alien series has not been good in a long while. What started as a dry, serious horror film that audiences were not prepared for upon its 1979 release turned action while maintaining its horror and sci-fi roots with 1986's Aliens. Alien 3 was still a solid flick, but it lacked the heart and the innovation of its predecessors. Resurrection had ideas, but a flawed execution. The Alien vs. Predator movies were silly and pointless. Prometheus was an overwrought exposition to the lame-ass Alien Covenant. The series has died at least 3 times at this point, and expectations are currently at an all-time low. Enter Fede Alvarez. Announcing himself with the 2013 Evil Dead remake, he followed with 2016's Don't Breathe and 2018's Girl in the Spider's Web. And that's it. This is his 4th movie in 11 years, and his first in the past 6. He's proven that he's more than capable, and he has been offered more work. He was attached to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Legacy sequel, the Ben Affleck Batman, a Labyrinth spin-off, and adaptations of the games Monsterpocalypse and Dante's Inferno. So why doesn't he do more work? Because, crazy concept, the man uses discretion. And when something isn't coming together, he doesn't risk his reputation in favor of a paycheck. So when Fede Alvarez accepts the challenge of breathing new life into the greatest horror sci-fi series of all time, and he sees it through to completion, you sit up and you pay attention. Taking place 20 years after the original Alien, Romulus introduces us to Rain, an orphan working to complete a mining job that has just been doubled against her will. So when the opportunity to escape arises, Rain, her synthetic Andy, and a group of friends seize that opportunity. They make a stop at an abandoned space station that's not as abandoned as they thought. There's your movie. So the first thing that hit me with Romulus is the look and the feel of the film. Alvarez goes out of his way to deliver a film that presents not only as taking place between Alien and aliens, it looks like it had been made between 1979 and 1986. The only way you'd get closer is if this whole thing was shot on film. I wish. The technology is outdated by today's standards, but looked futuristic during that time period. They don't use new devices, there's no holograms. He does use some CGI, but there is visibly a choice of going as practical as possible. This is built of and within the existing universe, and this is how this is done. Performances were good overall. The characters greatly benefited from Alvarez and co-writer Rodo Sayagu's this, proving once again that the approach of writing the bulk of dialogue to specific character traits is effective for character establishment. The biggest beneficiary to this is David Johnson, who would have been the standout star had he just played the Andy that he was at the beginning of the film. But when this character further develops, holy shit, give this man everything. Marvel, if you need somebody to pick up Kang after rightfully getting the fuck rid of Jonathan Majors, this is your guy. He can handle it. But you and I both know the stars that you're buying tickets to see are the aliens themselves. So how do they fare? Gotta tell you, as far as face huggers go, this is their movie. Over 8 films in, I have never seen a more vicious or invasive portrayal of them. This made me sick. And remember, I sat through Trap. Chestbursters? Man. I don't want to overhype the movie, but outside of the initial shock that hit viewers in 1979 when they didn't know that this was going to happen, I can't think of a more effective use. I would tell you why, but I don't want to spoil. And side note, if you think they aren't making a statement with them about the overturning of Roe v. Wade and a woman's right to choose, yeah, I had that in mind before the xenomorph cocoon. You know what you're looking at. As for those xenomorphs, maybe this is where I show that I'm not playing up a level of quality that isn't there, they were fine. They look good, they do what they're supposed to do, but there's not much more to say about them. There's not a vastly different approach in this film, other than the emphasis of the acid blood, which I can say I thoroughly enjoyed. I'm going to assume that this is because the movie was made with the intention of a follow-up, and that Alvarez wanted to rework the other life cycles before revealing what he's really going to do and where he's really going to go with xenomorphs. Is there fan service? Absolutely. But we did that shit to ourselves, right? Creators now working in an established franchise have to regurgitate the existing IP before giving us their spin on it. That's just the studio system now. But from the cryo chamber to the catwalk to the elevator, I do think that Alvarez gives us enough here. And to that note of it being his own, I do think that the finale is not going to land with everybody. In fact, I think that it will be the most divisive part of this film. Personally, this guy was straight up in awe. This was one hell of a way to be respectful to the past, but announce that you're here to blaze your own trail. Alien Romulus was one hell of a film. I personally feel that this was the closest you can get to scaring people the way that the original did. And this is the most horror-leaning that this series has been since the first. I will not make the grandiose claim that it's better than or even on par with Alien or Aliens, but I will say this is the third best overall in the series thus far. And for the first time since I started watching the Alien movies, I am excited about the franchise after seeing the new one. And side note, because I didn't know where else to put this, but Disney, can you please let Universal borrow this franchise for Halloween Horror Nights? You kind of owe me for the Kang thing. Kindred Spirits, Alien, Aliens, Don't Breathe. It's not a cop-out, there's not a better way to describe it. It's the most influential sci-fi horror series ever. If I called out like Life or Event Horizon, I'm calling out movies that wouldn't have happened without Alien. I'm cutting out the middlemen. So that's going to do it for today. Do all these things. Let me know what you thought of Alien Romulus right over here. Please be respectful to others and don't spoil anything. I did my best not to. And as always, this is all just a matter of opinion. See it yourself. Remain critical. Support horror.